Europe is getting a new electric car. The Chevrolet Volt has been available in the U.S. since last year and was even named Green Car of the Year there. Now Chevy is taking the Volt overseas, just in time for the carmaker's 100th anniversary. Plus, Louis Chevrolet, who founded the company in the U.S. in 1911, was born in Switzerland.
Stefan
Raschig of Chevrolet says the brand wants to prove it can be a leader on the technology front, and the Volt underscores that point. The carmaker hopes its first electric car will draw attention to other Chevy models available in Germany. The Volt is anything but sluggish on the Autobahn. It's a real contender, with speeds topping out at roughly 160 kilometers an hour. That means drivers don't have to sacrifice much in terms of performance. The central console is equipped with a screen that tells drivers how much battery charge is left. A green circle on the dashboard, seen here on the right, gauges energy efficiency. The ball rises or falls if the driver wastes energy braking or gives the Volt too much gas. Chevrolet's Jörg Wahl says the Volt also has a feature called a range extender. The car runs on electricity the first 40 to 80 kilometers. The range extender is a gas engine that switches on when the charge is dead, allowing drivers to go another 500 kilometers. The two engines are built in side by side, but the electric motor is meant to do most of the work. It's perfect for day-to-day driving and short trips. The gas engine is a reserve for when there's no battery power left. Jörg Wahl points out the electric and gas drive units. He says the car can't run without the electric component in place. But if you were to take out the gas engine, the car would keep on going until the battery's drained.
Bis die Batterie hier erschöpft ist und der Elektromotor dann abgeschaltet werden würde.
The Volt has flipped the typical fuel hierarchy on its head. In most hybrid cars, there are still two engines, but the electric component serves mostly as a support system and can only drive very short distances on its own. The Volt has things the other way around, putting the focus on green energy, not gas. Studies show that most people can get by with a daily drive capacity of about 60 kilometers. That's a distance the Volt's electric motor can handle without the help of other fuel. But making that a viable option for drivers means the technology has to be accessible, particularly when it comes to charging the battery. The Chevy executive shows us how to make sure the Volt is road ready. The most important part is charging the battery. The port for that is located on the front side of the car. Then there's the classic fuel tank behind the rear door. The car's battery pack runs from the trunk up to the transmission. But besides two fuel door release buttons to fill up the gas and the battery, the interior looks a lot like any other car, if not slightly more futuristic. There are plenty of cutting-edge features in the vehicle, including the automatic gear stick that fits right into the console in the park position. Instead of knobs and dials, the car's console features buttons and a field of touch functions. The display might seem a bit overwhelming at first, but once you fire up the Volt, the icons are helpful, especially since the electric motor is so quiet. The Volt has already hit the streets of the U.S., and it's set to take on Europe by the end of 2011. It's a car with big potential, and the Volt specs alone are bound to convince some drivers that it's a good investment. The Volt's counterpart in Europe is the Opel Ampera. General Motors owns both Opel and Chevrolet. That means the two models use the same technology. So far, they've seen little in the way of competition from other car makers trying to break into the electric market.